Thank you so much. All right, so now, who everybody's been waiting to hear, why the reason you're here, I'm going to introduce our one of the spiritual leaders of our church here, Reverend Debby O'Donnell.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for spending your morning with us, even though it's sunny outside. We haven't seen the sun in a while, but it's still like really cold out, you guys. I don't get this. Anyway, it's April. This month we're looking at being showered with all of God's blessings. Those blessings that make us remember who and whose we are, right? It is those blessings that pour down upon us, that operate through us, that circulate all around and for us. And then it comes back to us with an opportunity to have our hearts wider, to have it more opened. So today, I want to talk about the blessing of a happy life. And unless you are the family dog, and we do have 2 of those, who wants to be happier? I mean, come on, right? I mean, we're happy. One of the reasons this philosophy, this religion, this mental approach to living is because it allows us to be happy. Not that Pollyanna, oh, things are fine kind of happy, right? But that real sincere things are fine at a certain level. And they're going to keep being fine, and they're going to get finer. And that's the kind of happiness I want to talk about today. Not that Pollyanna, oh, I'm happy, right? Not that temporary happiness that we get when something really good or awesome or wonderful comes to us. Not that that kind of happiness isn't bad, right? It's good happy. But I'm talking about that happiness within. You know, it resides within us. And it's there for no reason at all but for us to acknowledge it and express it. For us to sit with it. For us to allow it to shine through us, open us, and allow us to be that wonderful, transformative change agent in the world. A couple of quotes for you. Ernest Holmes, our founder. All power, all wealth, all everything that human mind holds worthwhile is worthless without happiness. Wayne Dyer. Most people are searching for happiness. They're looking for it. They're trying to find it in someone or something outside of themselves. That's a fundamental mistake. Happiness is something that you are, and it comes from the way that you think. It isn't the world that makes you unhappy or the way other people are in the world. It's how you process the people and events of the world. And Dr. Joseph Murphy. Happiness is the harvest of a quiet mind. Anchor your thoughts on peace, poise, security, divine guidance, and your mind will be the productive happiness that all seek. Isn't it amazing how all the good stuff always starts within? It's the one consistent theme, right? So there's this gal that wrote a book on how to be happy, and I'm going to butcher her name. So just know that. Sonia Lambormisky, I believe, or at least close. And as I was going through this book, I realized that Ernest Holmes' idea of how religion and science and philosophy all meet up, you can find it everywhere, even in textbooks of scientists that specialize in happiness. So, the first question that she addresses is why happy? Why is happiness important? And why would one want to be more happy? Well, here's some studies that have proven the following. When we become happier, we not only boost our experience of joy, our excitement and our contentment and love, but we also tend to see the awe in everything and everyone. It improves every aspect of our life, including our energy level, our immune system, how we engage with people. It impacts our physical and mental health. It boosts our feelings of self-confidence. It supports a greater success of everything in our life. And finally, and probably the least appreciated, is that it raises everyone else's happiness as well. When you're a naturally happy person, you kind of naturally bring out the happy in everybody else. And have you noticed? Because I think most of us in this philosophy are generally pretty happy. And how you notice that you sometimes attract people that just want to be around you because you make them feel better. You make them happier. Such a gift. So the second question she tackles is this idea of how much influence do we really have over our happiness? And it turns out quite a bit. And there's a couple of studies that you can internet find, and I've got them listed, because these numbers are kind of amazing, I think. We control 40% of our happiness. Studies have shown that 50% of our happiness is genetic. 50%. And that level of happiness they call a set point, right? We're sort of born into a family with a certain set point of happiness or environment, so to speak. 50%. How much do you think our happiness is based on what's going on out here? Our job, our relationships, our money, our activities? 10%. Only 10% of what we're experiencing out here in the noise impacts our happiness. So that leaves 40% that we can influence, that we can control, that we can maneuver, that we can increase and put to work. Now, her answer on how you go about doing this is pretty simple. If you change your thinking, you can change your happiness. What do you guys think of that idea, huh? Pretty scientific. I think so. She says, I want to quote her, if you're not happy today, you won't be happy tomorrow unless you take things into your own hands, take action, and change the way you think. A direct quote. Okay? Brilliant. I love it. Because that's sort of what we do here, right? We talk about how do we change our thinking so we can change our life and consciously use our divine partnership with that one source to make not only our lives better, but the world better. We're changing our thinking. She also maps out 12 things that happy people do well. 12 things that will allow us to be more happy. Expressing gratitude, cultivating optimism, avoiding overthinking and social comparison, that little thing called judgment and monkey mind, right? Practicing acts of kindness, nurturing social relationships, learning to forgive, increasing the flow of positive experiences, savoring life's joy, committing to one's goals and setting intention, practicing religion or spirituality, and taking care of your mind, your body, your physical activity, and acting like a happy person. Okay? Act as if, we say, and it shall be. So now that we know all of us new thoughters are kind of like on that right path, right? We're sort of like already working on our happiness quota, even though we didn't know we had one, right? And we're not doing it in a fake me out until it happens kind of a way, but we're doing it sincerely by doing our work. I want to look at 3 of these top items. I want to look at expressing gratitude. Yes, we talk about that a lot, but it's important. Cultivating optimism and overthinking and social comparison. So, gratitude. People who consistently practice gratitude are found to be relatively happier, more energetic, more hopeful, more positive. They also tend to be more helpful and empathetic. And they're more likely to forgive and less likely to be materialistic. Right? Can we all raise our hands to that? Yes. Okay. And furthermore, they tend to not be anxious or stressed. Gratitude is the great multiplier. Diane Harmon, who wrote the book Five Gifts to Something, she talked about the idea that when we express gratitude and appreciation, we're opening up the door for others to do the same. And as we continue to open those doors, others continue to open those doors, and things come back to us pressed down and multiplied in the good of it all. Catherine Ponder, she was once thought as the greatest New Thought prosperity teacher of her time. And she used to say that the act of blessing everything is the only transformative prosperity secret you need to know. Bless it and see what happens. So, what are you grateful for? This is one thing I love about gratitude, is that there's always something to be grateful for. Even in the middle of whatever crazy's happening, taking that conscious breath and just being thankful for that breath can change everything. Can change how you react. Gratitude is the simplest thing of all that we can all practice. So, it requires nothing but a willingness and the ability to remember right now, I need to check out, check into gratitude, and then I can come back, right? Really, it's that simple. Okay, now for cultivating optimism. I'm willing to bet that all of us are pretty optimistic, right? But she talks about the difference, in her book, she talks about the difference between being an optimist and a pessimist. So see how you do with this. For an optimist, if something bad happens, we tend to think of it as a fluke, right? As a temporary thing. But a pessimist thinks of it as something that's permanent, right? It's permanent, never going to change. When something good happens, an optimist is more likely to reflect it upon their whole life, right? Yeah, that's what my life's like. It's good like this. A pessimist, it's kind of like, that was luck, right? That was luck. Yeah. An optimist will also, if something good happens, right? An optimist will take time to celebrate, pat themselves on the backs, share the fact that, hey, this happened. I'm doing a really good job. A pessimist, when something good happens, again, they're like, it's an isolated incident. It won't happen to me again. I just got to wait for that other shoe to drop. A bad event, just this one time. It's isolated from everything else. This really isn't my life. This is just something that showed up for me to work on improving my skills. That's it. It doesn't taint my whole world. An optimist, when something happens to them that's bad, they assume it's something that's outside of their control. An off day. Wrong time, wrong place, won't ever happen again. Those kinds of things. And when you look at that list, we all tend to think of ourselves as being an optimist, except for when that one bad thing happens, right? Okay? Think about it. I don't know about you, but I've got some of these pesky old thoughts and old habits My pesky old thoughts tend to say, okay, let's take this personal, right? And because we're taking it personal, let's just figure out how we're going to also get even, right? Those are my two big pesky thoughts. I don't know about yours, but those are mine. So she suggests, and I love this idea, and I've now done it a few times, that you ask yourself some questions, because those pesky thoughts are barriers to your happiness. So try these off, these pesky thoughts. What else could this situation or experience mean? Can any good come of it? Does it present any opportunity for me? What lessons can I learn and apply to the future? What strengths and benefits did I derive from this not so great event? I'm adding, are you taking it personal and why? I'm adding that question because, well, it's important. Those risky, pesky thoughts, just like any of those old tapes that are no longer supporting us, there's something about putting it down on a piece of paper. Do you agree? Something about putting it down on a piece of paper and walking through it. And when you logically walk through it without your emotions, you logically reach an answer that is not personal, that is not failure, that is not why me and why again. It's none of those answers. It's logical, it's rational, and it has something that allows you to take action. Not to reverse it, not to change it, but to make sure you're not courting it in the future. Right? So, anybody currently stressed, concerned about money, wondering about a relationship, wondering about the environment? It's time you might want to consider what pesky questions, what pesky old thoughts and old habits are no longer serving you. Write them down. Analyze them. Yeah, I don't know, when you write them down, they lose some attachment, right? Because now it's out there, it's not just here. His Holiness the Dalai Lama says, one begins identifying those factors which lead to happiness and those factors which lead to suffering. Having done this, one sets about gradually eliminating those factors which lead to suffering and cultivating those which leads to happiness. That is the way. Letting go of what doesn't work and stepping into that greatness. Because with Spirit as your divine partner, it's only onward and upward. That's it. Which leads us to that idea of avoiding overthinking and social comparison. Yeah. She says, we find that the happiest people take pleasure in other people's success and show concern for those who are feeling as failures. It is about taking delight in other people's successes, about celebrating them. Dr. Michael Beckwith does this wonderful guided meditation, and it's about visualizing someone alive that you know, don't know, not alive, that represents what you feel you're here to have, be, and do. And then to allow yourself to go up on stage with that individual, just beaming with love for the success that they're about to be honored for. And then you hear them being honored for all of these things. And your excitement grows and grows and grows and grows. With the idea being, when you hang out with someone or you associate with other people's successes, person or not, doesn't matter, your energy, your vibration goes up. And you get to that point where your vibration is at that level that attracts to you that which you are so grateful they have been blessed with. And then when you get that vibration going, you anchor it. His suggestion is you press your thumb to the palm of your hand, you anchor it. And at any point in time, you can tap back into that energy. See, when we compare ourselves to others, we're dividing ourselves. We're separating ourselves. But we're not separate, we're all one. With divine, unique expressions, divine, unique gifts. And so there's no reason to separate. There's no reason to compare. There's really no reason to judge. Because if we want to be just like someone else, we never will be. We'll always have our own stamp on it. And when we take pleasure, even if we don't acknowledge we're doing it, not that I've ever done it, that someone is getting their just desserts, right? It makes it sound so nice. When we do that, right, we're still judging, we're still comparing, and we're still taking our energy level down there. None of us are here to have our energy in the muck and the mire. If that's where we were being fulfilled, we wouldn't be in this room. We wouldn't be watching this. We wouldn't be participating in this spiritual path to the degree of unfoldment we're willing to do. We've already suited up, we've already shown up, we've already signed up to not be in the muck. So that idea of someone's just desserts needs to go away. Because all of us deserve what we want. All of us deserve success, however we personally defined success. So as we let go of that stuff, as we start celebrating people's success, as we start feeling some empathy for those who are suffering and going through pain, as we stop labeling good guys and bad guys, and we just bless the whole mess, no matter how hard that is to do, we allow our happiness to sort of elevate, expand, and support us staying at that high level of blessed success. T. Harvey Eckert wrote in his book, Secrets to the Millionaire Mind, bless that which you want. If you see a person with a beautiful home, bless that person and bless that home. If you see a person with a beautiful car, bless that person, bless that car. If you see a person with a loving family, bless that person and bless that family. If you see a person with a beautiful body, bless that person and bless their body. Because blessings come back. Pressed down, multiplied, running over, right? Bless it. You know, it's a scientific fact that you cannot be envious and happy at the same time. It can't happen, right? So, when we let go of our judgment, let go of our opinions, and we just consciously allow happiness to flow, we're making our lives better. We're making the lives of our family and friends better. We're making the life of the world a little better, if you think about it. That's what's ours to do, I believe. I believe every person on this planet has a shared purpose of love, respect, and knowing how divine and unique and connected we all are. Imagine that world. That's a great world. And we get to influence that world. So your assignment this week, you happy people, you? Your assignment this week is pretty simple. If you're not already doing it, spend 1 week writing down 5 things you're grateful for. And don't do any repeats. Just 5. Just 5. Write them down. And then go bless something. Just bless it. When you watch the news or you read some of the stuff going on, just take a breath and know that there's a blessing in there somewhere. Like that story of the kid saying, there's that pony in there somewhere, right? Just bless it, knowing that there's something good about to show its face. And that's the truth, and so it is.